Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good afternoon to all of you. Now, today in this program, we've got a couple of things, as always, quite a few things to cover. No real new developments since the morning session. I spoke to you in the morning, but there's a couple of other things I want to sort of bring up and have a look at, which I think it could be quite interesting, in particular the loonie. And that's the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So we'll have a quick little look into that as well. But remember, before we begin, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. There we go, said it. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get started. So what has been, how's the market been since we spoke this morning? Well, there's been a few movements, which of course we'll have a look at. But to be fair, the market realistically is currently waiting for some key economic data to come out. And we'll go through which ones in particular the market is keeping a very close eye on. First of all, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI, which expectation is 54.5. Now, of course, you may ask me, what is the ISM manufacturing PMI, James? Those of those individuals out there who have not got a lot of experience in trading. So I thought I'd do a quick, brief description of what this is and what this potentially could mean. Now, the Institute of Supply Management, brackets ISM, Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, brackets PMI, provides an outlook on the condition of the US manufacturing sector. Okay. Now, a reading above 50 suggests growth during that, or suggests growth, expansion, whichever way you want to put it, during that period of time. So when that survey was taken, okay, a better than expected number is often often and could have potential positive impact on the US dollar. But the other reason why this is being keenly watched, and hands up out there who wants to make a guess about why the market is sort of waiting for this information, is that this survey also shines light on the job market and inflation. And surprisingly, obviously, we got the job numbers coming out in 2 days' time. But as you know, and those individuals have been kind enough to join me, I've been talking a lot about inflation over the last couple of days. So surprise, surprise, this survey often shines light on inflation as well. So this is why it's potentially important. So yeah, that's what the ISM manufacturing PMI is. Okay. Now here's a bit of interest. Okay. The expectation is 54.5. Okay. In January, the PMI was 58.7. February, 57.6, March, 58.6, April, 57.1, and May, 55.4. So if, again, it does come in as expected at 54.5, there is a steady decline. So there is a steady slowdown in growth in the manufacturing sector in the US. So that could have a big impact on the market. And I think this is why the market is sort of holding its breath a little about that. Now, something else to come as well I want to talk about, and that is the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Now, the expectation is them to hike rates again by a half a base point, and for the expectation for it to be announced at 1.5%. Okay, now, here's the thing. As you know, a lot of central banks are looking at raising interest rates because of inflation. As it stands, Canadian inflation is at 6.8% compared to the US, which is at 8.3%. Okay, but here's the thing. The commodity currency, because the Canadian dollar is a commodity currency, is under a lot of spotlight. Okay, we'll have a look at it on the charts in a minute. A lot of spotlight because the Canadian Bank of Canada. The Bank of Canada, sorry, silly me, can't get my words out today, has raised rates, okay, from January, all right? In January, the interest rate was 0.25. In March, they rose it to 0.5, so 0.50. Then in April, they raised it to 1%. and it's where it stands currently at 1%. So if they raise rates to 1.1.5, okay, so here's the thing for them. Canadian households are already feeling the pinch of this, because don't forget, when you raise interest rates, okay, it increases the cost of borrowing. So those with mortgages and things like this, so the Canadian households are already feeling the pinch of several interest rate hikes, which they've gone through over the last couple of months. So the question is, okay, obviously the US interest rate is at 1% at the moment. And they've always been incredibly hawkish about rates, haven't they? So we are expecting a rate increase this month to 0.5 and maybe in July, which will bring up interest rates to 1.5 to match what Canada's interest rate could be. They might not raise rates. We're assuming, we're expecting them to. They might not. Okay, but the Canadian or the Bank of Canada hasn't got the leg room that the Fed potentially has, or is as hawkish as the Fed. So this is maybe where Canadian interest rates may stay. Yes, their inflation is extremely high at 6.8, but it's nothing in comparison as it stands at the moment to the US. The other thing why it's coming under scrutiny as well, of course, don't forget we discussed obviously oil and the future of oil prices. And like I said already, the loonie, or the Canadian dollar, is a commodity-based currency. So anyway, let's have a quick look at the dollar CAD at the moment. Okay, let's have a quick look at it. Right, this is on a 4-hour chart. Okay, it's currently trading at 126.21. Okay, of recent highs, we're back in the 12th, or around the 12th of May, where it traded around about 130.74. It's been on a slow decline against the greenback. So yes, it is technically under pressure. So it'd be interesting to see, okay, what initially the market reaction will be when they raise interest rates, or if they raise interest rates later today. But also to see what happens to oil. Okay, what happens to oil prices? If we just have a quick look at oil, because we discussed about it this morning. Currently is a little bit up from where it fell back yesterday. It's currently trading at $115 a barrel. But like I say, there's still oil. I think what's going to be really interesting is what happens with OPEC tomorrow, which we'll talk a little bit about in a while. But going back to the dollar CAD, or the loonie, I love that name. I love these sort of different names they have for currency pairs. And loonie is one of my favorites. Obviously, it's named after a Canadian bird. Okay, so it's just a little bit of historical information why it's called the loonie. But anyway, yeah, you can really, like I say, you can see that it's hovering around that level. It is under pressure. RSI wise, we're trading above the 30 level. Okay, not below the 30 level, yeah, up around the 30 level. Remember the theory, if it breaks through the 30, potentially is then oversold and the market might start buying in again. But again, that's just a theory. The RSI doesn't work all the time. So it does show room. There could be a little bit more selling power for it, a bit more dollar strength on it. So that would be interesting. If we compare it though to a different pair, if we look at the Canadian Japanese yen, obviously the Canadian dollar is gaining strength. Again, this is on a 4-hour chart, currently trading around 102.39. So this would be an interesting pair to see on the back of that interest rate decision as well. This particular pair is trading above the 200-day moving average currently as it stands. However, the RSI is above the 70. So again, indicating, the theory is above the 70, could potentially overbought. So anyway, I'll definitely be watching the loonie. That's due, just so you know, that is due in just over 45 minutes time. Both the RSM PMI, okay, and the Canadian interest rate decision. That's due, yes, so 2 p.m. UTC. Okay, moving on. Let's have a look what else is happening. Following on from yesterday, the greenback is holding its ground, okay. We remember this morning, we spoke about it. We had dollar strength and things of this nature, okay, because obviously dollar was getting its safe haven status back, because obviously the market's a bit nervous. Hasn't much changed. Actually, we've seen an awful maintained dollar strength against the majors today. So let's bring that back up and have a look at a couple. First of all, the British pound. Remember that level we were looking at? Okay, 125.73. Well, it's tested it several times from the morning session. And he's managed to bounce from that. He's currently trading at 125.84. Okay, finding a bit of selling pressure from where that 50-day moving average is at the moment. That's around about, so it's potential resistance 125.96. Yes, it's still trading below the 200 and 100-day moving average. RSI is flat in the middle, so not indicating either oversold or overbought. But that level, which we looked at earlier on, 125.73, is holding for the time being. But let's see what the PMI brings as well. Let's see if the PMI shakes that up. Euro dollar, that was again under pressure by the dollar. Let's have a quick look again. Let's have a go, but let's go a bit longer. Okay, yeah, let's do 1 hour actually, give us a better look. Here we go. Yes, again, remember we mentioned that level on, no, that's the cable. Sorry, my fault. Yes, let's look at the euro. Okay, yeah, remember we had selling pressure with the greenback earlier this morning. It's managed to do a slight recovery, still trading under the 100 and the 200 moving average. Currently trades at 107.291. But yeah, let's just say if we look at the 4 hour image as well, let's see if we can give it a better look. Okay, at the moment it currently looks like it's ranging, but we are seeing a little bit of dollar strength again. If we look at the dollar yen, right, remember it was on a good bull run. Remember what I mentioned this morning from the sort of trading sessions? The dollar is around about up 200 pips or so against the Japanese yen. Remember we looked at that key level there at 129.40, which we can see on a 4 hour chart there. Okay, that's a key potential area of interest. It has held since then. That's the interest area of area of interest around 129.40. Okay, and it's currently testing that now. But yes, it has hold throughout the European session. Again, let's have a look what the PMI brings. And finally, let's have a quick look at one of my favorites. Those who watch my little programs, they know I'm a big gold bug. And wow, actually, in the last, let's have a quick look here. Right, that is interesting. Yes, we've had a sudden spurge in it on on gold. It's currently trading at 1,846. Throughout the session, it's been finding support around the 1,830 level. Obviously, the key level we've always been looking at is 1,862. So here, but all of a sudden we've had a sudden spike up, which is interesting. I need to find out what that is. How exciting is that? It's great when it comes on, but it'd be even better if I knew exactly what's happened. But anyway, I will find out and I will share that with you good folks tomorrow. So that's where the dollar is standing. Obviously, gold is straight back, so something's occurred. So we'll need to have a look into what that is. Europe as it stands. Okay, Europe as it stands. Yeah, FTSE currently up 0.15, but 0.15%. DAX 0.50%. Euro Stocks 50 currently up 0.24%. So again, a bit tepid, but it's not like in the negatives. So the big question, obviously, is what's just happened to gold, which I need to find out, which is exciting. I love when gold does that to me. But the big question tomorrow, obviously, big question is what will OPEC do tomorrow? Will they follow through with what the Wall Street Journal report mentioned, that they may stop Russia from being part of the oil production deal, which could lead the likes of Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, and Kuwait to increase supply, which could then, of course, obviously put pressure on the current oil prices. So we'll have to see what they bring tomorrow. We probably won't find out straight away. Throughout the day, though, we'll hopefully try and find out what's occurring from that meeting. Okay, what else is still to come? Don't forget, in literally 45 minutes time, we have ISM. Sorry, I need a glass of water. Then I got my words all stuck. It's better. My throat gets so dry. US ISM manufacturing PMI, ADP job report tomorrow. Then we have the big one, which is the NFP, average earnings, and obviously unemployment for the US. I will be doing a watch along with that event. So if you can, please come and join me. It should be interesting. I know the NFP blows hot and cold. Sometimes it's a real market mover. Other times it's not so much. So it'll be really interesting to see what it is. But average earnings, like I keep saying, I'm going to be really, really, really interested in what the average earnings is, especially as we are transfixed with inflation at the moment. So that's a real big thing. Okay, don't forget, while I'm online, you can always ask me questions whenever you wish. Feel free, because I like to try and do some sort of engagement of nature. And I might not always know the answer, like I don't know what's happening with gold right now, but I need to go find out. So I can't wait to find out what it is. But if I do, I will certainly share it with you. If not, I'll find the answer and I'll share it with you next time I go live. So there's always that. But anyway, there's no questions. Okay, no problem. Don't forget, I'm back online tomorrow at 8 a.m. UTC. And again tomorrow at 1 p.m. UTC for the US session. So please come along and join me. And don't forget, I'll be doing those same hours again on the Friday, but I will be doing a special. I'll be doing a watch along on the NFP. So please feel free to come and join me. Right. Like I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook and you found this little episode interesting, you like it, give us a follow by all means. If you're watching me on YouTube and you like it, subscribe if you like it, and click that little notification little button. If you found this interesting and fairly educational, you want to give me one of those. End the day with a smile on my face. But anyway, till next time, remember, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. I'm now going to find out what's happening with gold. But anyway, guys, till next time, everybody trade safe and have a cracking day.